Hello, my name's Matt Cameron, and I help people connect with digital marketing. Today I'm sharing with you a presentation called Leading with Authenticity. Now, 3 easy steps to building confidence, to making a difference, making a meaningful difference. And those 3 steps are observe oneself without judgment, be transparent to build trust, and finally, be balanced and evaluate. On a scale of frequently, occasionally, or never, how much of your time spent collaboratively working with other people? Now, if you answer this question never, look, please turn this video recording off now, because the rest of this video recording is going to be of interest to those people that said occasionally or frequently. Interesting key fact. The only difference between a people manager and an individual contributor is that the people manager has more interactions with people outside the team. The people lead has 52% more interactions with people external to the team when compared to the individual contributor. So that's 52 and 21. So there's the only difference was with external interactions with people outside the team. What this resonates and sort of says that for a people lead or an individual contributor, most of everything that we do is 100% the same. Key takeaway: people managers and individual contributors both have to apply the same skills when working with others to discover requirements. Now, just want to go over that because sometimes we might think that leaders need to be having all these special skills, but the skills are needed by everyone. Would you trust this person? And he's standing there on the side. He's got his fake nose out. He's got his Pinocchio nose, and he's yelling out about something. I've got no idea what that person is saying. But if you felt like you could trust that person, I guess this is another one of those points where stop listening, because that's all about a fake news story. When we flip fake around, we come up with authenticity. And statement here: our individual authenticity is an integral part of who we are and our ways of being. And this can be witnessed by others in our character, value, and preferences. Now, we saw in that chat before, everything was fake and you wouldn't trust that person. But if you flip that around, you come up with the word authenticity, which I think's sort of the opposite to fake. So if you don't like fake, think authenticity. Authenticity is not a leadership skill, but rather flows from our willingness to be authentically mindful in the moment. When you observe a person that is acting authentically mindful in the moment, you will witness these traits. They are observing without self-judgment. They are being transparent with others to build trust. They are balancing and evaluating information from different sources. Okay, so let's put this into practice and a use case example. It's the 11th hour of a project. It's almost complete. We can see this on this clock here. It's 5 minutes to 12. The project's been ticking along. There's been a bit of feature creep. And right through the project, we've been accepting that feature creep. In fact, we've got all this feature creep that we know we can't deliver the project well. This is a bad situation to be in. And some of us may have found this through experience, that we've got to the deadline and not everything's going to be deliverable. What happens when we get there? Then chances are we're not going to be able to deliver the project. We're going to be in a situation where we either push the project deadline out, or we have a miracle happen and it all works out perfectly, or we commit to the deadline and there's issues. Now, what was happening here? What was happening here is, and if we start observing oneself without judgment in the moment, what are we observing about what happened here? We've made commitments. We haven't discussed. We haven't taken into consideration how we've been playing back how we feel about the feature creep. Now, we might like to let our ego rule about how we feel about what's happening. So yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Thinking, yeah, I can just do it. I can just do it. Now the issue with that is that that's not going to get the project delivered. Now, projects require collaboration. They're team efforts. So we could have, in this example, and this is just a hypothetical, we could have let our ego get in the way of delivery. So observe oneself without judgment. In this case, is about is about is about what made ourselves say what we said, and when we say those things, are they the right things to say? And if it's about delivery, just accepting everything, not a good idea, because it's going to blow up at the end. Being transparent to build trust. Do we have a system in place that allowed for everyone to see the transparency of all these extra requirements? Did it feed into the team? And if it fed into the team, were we listening to others like we listened to ourselves? Were we balancing the discussion, evaluating information from other sources, not rushing, but just having a mindful view of what's happening? So just try to put that into practice about how we may have navigated ourselves out of this 11th hour disaster into a more manageable state. So key takeaways. A problem shared with the right people at the right time who are empowered to make a difference is a problem more than half solved. How do you feel when you really listen to? In a recent survey done with a community group, we asked that question and came up with this word cloud. And some of the responses included respected, empowered, part of the discussion, motivated, super happy, feel really good, appreciated, energized, encouraged. Felt like I'm adding value. Now, when people have that feeling that they're being listened to, they're the responses, and that goes to their motivation, doesn't it? Because if you feel good, you're going to be on board with the project. So when others feel that they've been listened to, that's how they feel these words. So if we flip that around and we think about how others feel about when they've been listened to, we have that superpower ourselves to make others feel good, to make others feel motivated by really listening to them. Because if from that survey result, if people feel that way, then when they're listened to, then they're going to feel the same way. Really, listening is a trait of acting authentically mindful in the moment that allows others to make a contribution, to make a difference. So to wrap up, leading with authenticity. We've talked about 3 easy steps to building confidence to make a meaningful difference. Now, the first was observe without judgment. The second, be transparent to build trust. And the third was balance and evaluate what's happening around. We also worked through an example, about an 11th hour example of the feature creep on a project that might have an issue with delivery. And we talked about how we might have mitigated that issue by applying some of these thoughts and ideas. To wrap up, share a comment about an experience that you've had when the team has listened to really make a difference. Like I said, I tried to do these things, can't always get them right. Go to the code, scan it in, and make a comment. I've already put a comment there about how this process works for me, and I encourage you to do the same. And altogether, our comments will make quite an interesting read. Thanks for watching along, and I really hope you got something out of the presentation.